A stranger was seated next to little Johnny on the plane when the stranger turned to little Johnny and said, "Let's talk. I've heard that flights will go quicker if you strike up a conversation with your fellow passenger." Little Johnny, who had just opened his book, closed it slowly and said to the stranger, "What would you like to discuss?" "Oh, I don't know," said the stranger. "How about nuclear power?" "Okay," said little Johnny. "That could be an interesting topic. But let me ask you a question first. A horse, a cow, and a deer all eat grass. The same stuff. Yet a deer excretes little pellets, while a cow turns out a flat patty, and a horse produces clumps of dried grass. Why do you suppose that is?" "Geez," said the stranger. "I have no idea." "Well then," said little Johnny, "how is it that you feel qualified to discuss nuclear power when you don't know shit?" One day, during a lesson on proper grammar, the teacher asked for a show of hands for who could use the word beautiful in the same sentence twice. First, she called on little Susie, who responded with, "My father bought my mother a beautiful dress, and she looked beautiful in it." "Very good, Susie," replied the teacher. She then called on little Michael. "My mommy planned a beautiful banquet, and it turned out beautifully," he said. "Excellent, Michael." Then, the teacher called on little Johnny. "Last night, at the dinner table, my sister told my father that she was pregnant, and he said, 'Beautiful, beautiful.'" The teacher was asking the end-of-day question that she asks every Friday. If the student got it right, they would not have to go to school on Monday. Little Johnny was determined to answer correctly. So he painted 2 black marbles black and rolled them to the teacher's feet. All of a sudden, she shouted out, "Who's the comedian with the black balls?" Johnny shouted out, "Bill Cosby, see you on Tuesday, sucks." Little Johnny's chemistry teacher wanted to teach his class about the dangers of alcohol. So he devised an experiment that included a glass of water, a glass of whiskey, and 2 worms. "Now, class, observe what happens to the 2 worms," said the professor, putting the first worm in the glass of water. The worm in the water moved about, twisting and seemingly unharmed. He then dropped the second worm into the whiskey glass. It writhed in pain for a moment, then quickly sank to the bottom and died. "Now, kids, what lesson can we derive from this experiment?" he asked. Little Johnny raised his hand and wisely responded, "Drink whiskey and you won't get worms." Little Johnny was in church with his mom for Sunday Mass when he suddenly felt nauseous. "Mom, I think I'm going to throw up," she told him. "I want you to run outside as fast as you can. Run across the lawn and go behind the bushes. You can throw up behind the bushes, and nobody will see you." So little Johnny hauled ass for the door. Less than a minute later, he returned to his seat next to his mom. He had the look of obvious relief on his young face. "Did you make it all the way to the bushes, Johnny?" "I didn't have to go that far, Mom. Just as I got to the front door, I found a box that had a sign on it, 'For the sick.'" "Teacher, why did you laugh?" "Boy, I saw a strap of your brow." "Teacher, get out. Don't come to class for the next week." Another boy laughs. "Teacher, why did you laugh?" "Boy, I saw both straps of your brow." "Teacher, get out. Don't come to class for the next month." The teacher bends to pick up chalk, and little Johnny starts walking out of the class. "Teacher, why are you going out?" "Johnny, with what I saw, I think my school days are over." A teacher was teaching her 2nd grade class about the government, so for homework that one day, she told her students to ask their parents what the government is. When little Johnny got home that day, he went up to his dad and asked him what the government was. His dad thought for a while and answered, "Look at it this way. I'm the president, your mom is Congress, your maid is the workforce, you are the people, and your baby brother is the future." "I still don't get it," responded little Johnny. "Why don't you sleep on it then? Maybe you'll understand it better," said the dad. Okay then, good night, said little Johnny, who went off to bed. In the middle of the night, little Johnny was awakened by his baby brother's crying. He went to his baby brother's crib and found that his baby brother had taken a crap in his diaper. So little Johnny went to his parents' room to get help. When he got to his parents' bedroom, he looked through the keyhole to check if his parents were asleep. Through the keyhole, he saw his mom loudly snoring, but his dad wasn't there. So he went to the maid's room. When he looked through the maid's room keyhole, he saw his dad having sex with his maid. Little Johnny was surprised, but then he just realized something and thought aloud. Oh, now I understand the government. The president is screwing the workforce, Congress is fast asleep, nobody cares about the people, and the future is full of shit. Little Johnny is constantly late for school, and what's worse is that he always has a big lie explaining why. The teacher tells the principal that she has had it with his exaggerations. The principal tells her to send Johnny to him the next time he shows up late. He will tell Johnny a lie so big that he will never tell another one. Ever. The next day, Johnny shows up 2 hours late. Johnny says, "I was 2 hours early today, so I had time to fish in the pond on my way to school. I caught a 17-pound trout and had to take it home. If I hadn't cleaned it and frozen it, my mom would have been angry. That's why I'm so late." The teacher promptly takes him to the principal's office and explains the story to the principal. The principal tells Johnny about his own trip to school that day. He says, "I was walking to school through the park on the trail today when I heard something behind me. I turned around and was shocked to see a giant grizzly bear behind me. He was 24 feet tall and had 6-inch fangs. He was going to eat me, Johnny." Just then, a little dog ran out of the bushes, jumped up, and attacked the bear. The little dog killed the bear and then ate the whole bear right there in front of me. "What do you think of that, Johnny?" Johnny replies, "Oh yeah, that's my dog, Sparky. That's his third bear this week." For his birthday, little Johnny asked for a 10-speed bicycle. His father said, "Son, we'd give you one, but the mortgage on this house is $280,000, and your mother just lost her job. There's no way we can afford it." The next day, the father saw little Johnny heading out the front door with a suitcase. So he asked, "Son, where are you going?" Little Joe told him, "I was walking past your room last night, and heard you telling Mom you were pulling out. Then I heard her tell you to wait because she was coming too. And I'll be damned if I'm staying here by myself with a $280,000 mortgage and no bike."